please turn to page 7 of the Caracola Center Prayer Book. We'll start with Refuge in Bodhicitta and follow the order in the book. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the truth that frees one from the lower realms, the one path to sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp. An illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble. A dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors hark to tip of this fresh, pure white heap, curd like cloud. O Losang Drakpa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable gurus smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, none virtue committed. The speech and mind which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows, each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Losang Drakpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Migmate sewe ter chen chen resig, Dreame kien pe wang po jam pel yang, du pung ma lu jom ze sang we dag, gang chen ke pe tsu gen song kapa, Losang Drakpa jabla so vadeb. O glorious and precious Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking at the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth, up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Have no fear. They have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what was spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis. Akasamaratsa Shadarasamri. Akasamaratsa Shadarasamari fade. Tayata, Om Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriya Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now.
Did you Rinpoche. Chunsola Provala Ngara Gerkangonde and Chunso Ketu Sami Sabchinia, Itaban Tuchichoye. I would like to thank you for Rinpoche. His schedule is very tight, but he's very kindly accept our Gurukul Center invitation. He come here from my heart. Behalf of the Gurukul Center students, thank you so much for Rinpoche coming here, give teaching for us. Also, I would like to a little bit introduce Rinpoche. I'm sure all of you know the Rinpoche. Rinpoche is a really, really qualified teacher. Sometimes, you know, Westerns also, if you don't hold very loud words to, you know, you don't have a really qualified teacher. Therefore, you know, Rinpoche studied Saraji, he became Laram Gebchi. After that, his own monastery, Namjal monastery, Abbot. After that finish, also his holiness appointed him to Jetut and Abbot. Then also after that, he, like we can say, he's like a representative of his own Dalai Lama in Mongolia. He teaching for Lord there. Anyway, you know, just short, you know, introduction for Rinpoche. You know, usually when whoever I advise Gurukul Center, I advise 100% qualified teachers. You know, even doesn't matter. Usually I always say, whoever advise here, you know, Gurukul Center, we try to advise qualified teachers. What language, it doesn't matter. If you are the qualified teacher, we can advise. If you are not qualified teacher or what language, it doesn't matter. Whoever that, you don't have to advise. You know, we need to, who you receive the teaching is, you have to also connection teacher and student. Therefore, always we need to, students also get qualified teachers. Therefore, we always try to advise, like Rinpoche, Gadan Rinpoche, Lama Tsongpa Rinpoche, like that. Try to always like that. Therefore, just you guys know, you know, maybe some people doesn't know who the Rinpoche, some doubts or some questions. Who's Chadra Rinpoche? You know, usually right now, you know, we can go to a website online. It's very easy to find that sometimes people doesn't want to that. Just ask who is Chadra Rinpoche. It's a little bit sometimes a little shame, you know. You know, he's also teaching in Sarah Garden. Last year also he teaching in the Garden Lord. Also, he's also Lama Tsongpa Rinpoche teacher. It's sometimes public, also sometimes, you know, person, you know, just Rinpoche, Lama Tsongpa Rinpoche. He teach Lord, also Lama Tsongpa Rinpoche. Therefore, let you know, okay?
Oh me dala kame tayo me
Sanje Judan
Sogi Janam Janju Bandu Dane Gyausu
Che
Dagi Chenye Gebe Sonangi Dola Benje Sanje Duwai
Sho Sanje Judan Sogi
Janam Janju Bandu Dane Gyausu Che Dagi Chenye Gebe Sonangi Dola
Benje
Sangye Duwai Sho
Sanje
Chada Zoge Chanam La Janjo Badu Dane Yazon Je Nagi Chenye Gebe
Sonangi
Dola Benje Sangye Duwai Sho
Gange Duzanya Zone Dawa Dunja Bombeja Dambe June Dunja Kodam Dela Jazel Oh, that Durona. And Talen Nande Sajadelia, Ting Tambochen, Jagi, and Gishelagi, Sarkashera, de Shos, Cheje, or Tinesunje, Tane, Charto, Cheje, and Chozo Tomizo, Gishelagi Ube, Chozo Tomizo, Samalolia, and Tomat, some churches, delicious churches.
So, first of all, I would like to send my regards and greetings to all of you. This is my first time visiting here. Geshe-la has requested many times to come, and I have been able to make it here this time. So I would like to greet you all with the Tashi Delek.
That was our chavres.
So we become a good, new friends.
Yeah. That and any yellow zandy and Jambulam Zonga Chimizebe, Tondama sat in bus.
So what I'm supposed to, or what I was requested to teach here today, is a prayer for virtue in the beginning, middle, and end, composed by Lama Tsongkhapa.
Otati Molam Kunjires.
So this belongs, to the category of prayers.
Oh, that Nabe Chuluchi Nalia and Tomo Gokulu Jubasada, Jude Molam Sadi, Tondanila Chinese, Kechimuchi's.
So in Buddhist practice, these two activities at the beginning to set up a proper motivation, and at the end to dedicate in proper way is regarded very important.
Gumbulurugi sungre sajdu or the Ingresangdu gave tala shenenes. And Zundu Jag Guchen, Monon Sabji Kalugurus, and the Tabetundu, and the Dravaina kind of chigre, or Tineji, the Gumbulurugi, Monantigi, Chashiji, Tinechitus.
And I think it's from the part of the prayer composed by Nagarjuna, and it says something like by riding on the horse of the virtues and thought, and by
Zundu Jag Guchenes, Zundu Teja Shujes,
and was spanked or whipped by the by the whip of effort.
And Molam Sabji Kalugurs.
And then was drive by the rain of the prayers. So where you go, which direction you go,
and
so going or guiding or going to the city of liberation.
And Molam said the Kejum Shuji Jugu 모놈디 니리지기다 겨와 간다 간체버디 지구디 섭조 가바질이야 민담마비기 카규야디 어디니지제 개청부레스 체제 어디 칭티 땡가레스.
And so this word shows, that prayer or dedication at the end is very important. So whatever virtuous actions that you have created throughout the day, whether that, what kind of fruit that's going to bring, it depends on how you dedicate it.
직절한데 개팅님도 되는 뉴스순서야. 아니 말한서 겨와 간다 간체버디 뭐와도 뭐라 맞아버이나 안 텐더디 부춘주 다 원이 공부 잡투스지리야. 아니 가유지 구샤부터 더레스 제제 되는 순서요래. 다 코칸데레스 제베이나 아니 부춘주 원이 진전에 될이야. 가유지 구제 디피게 다 아말을 제스기나 발을 제스기나 어두스팔 부티라와 샤비나 아말라이나 발라이나 티 차리아 쿄도 요도 랑바기들이야 차도 요도 어때 차마서치레스 그래서나 부디 중다체 단다 시라기 30톤바지 중요 말와 어디나 시레스 내기 개와디 리부 상보지 베게 타켜버질이야 쿄도 맞죠 생긴디 아니 예전에부지래 뭐도 모는 잡이나 뭐 모는 거 틀었다네 아니 소소 강도 린디여 버틀이야 레투레스 제제 어두순 거래.
I don't remember the verse, but there's a saying that whatever virtuous actions that we have created, if we don't dedicate it or pray it at the end, then it's like giving a porcelain cup to a 2-year-old. And putting a porcelain cup into a hand of the 2 years old, and asking him, to give it to his mother or father. So, while walking, carrying this porcelain cup in his hand, there's very uncertainty whether he'll be able to really reach, to his mother and father and give it to them, or he will, break it on the way. This is very uncertain. So like that, if we, don't dedicate or, pray our virtue at the end, then it's not certain, whether one will be able to receive the fruit of that virtuous actions or not.
양 상계준내 숨직 도가스. 가령 디 송상 도디 민디 차인딩에 테마소 누르 야주시베 도임보노 지레 지달 야주차나 주딜루 야주마세 바도 테메세 디신 장주 균을 겨와야 장주 마도 바도 테메세스 당 뭐뭐는 제샤베 있네야 아니 뭐뭐는 들려야 아니 야 디지알스 뭐뭐는 강치 규기 뭐뭐는 들려 개발이알스 다 심제 탐지기 돈도 로버산이 콤바토베치도 뭐뭐는 제샤베 있나 아니 야조 마세 봐도 야조 청군날이야 티버지 룸다버티 야조 마세 봐도 티버티 검거 말했어 베티나시 아니 semjatamja sanjeju komba mato padu tendawe ki gyawati zogu mares jubut zogu mares o tinde sungares tinde indu mo monam senge jida kechmo yimba mo monam kechmo yimba 정도 마세베 mo monam ti lame zobe chanju chidu ene mo monam di shira yachmo res jeje o tinde sungares.
And also Buddha said in one of his sutra, I don't remember exactly the name of the sutra, but in that sutra, he said, so just like a drop of water will not dry, if it is mixed into the ocean, it will not dry until the whole ocean dries. And just like that, the virtue dedicated for the enlightenment will never exhaust, will never be consumed or exhausted until one achieves to the full enlightenment. And so if you mix a drop of water into the ocean, that drop of water will be always there until the whole ocean is dried. And just like that, if you dedicate the virtue you can dedicate virtue for any purpose. So especially if you dedicate it for the achievement of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, then that virtue will never be used or exhausted until you achieve to the full enlightenment. And so dedicating or praying for the achievement of enlightenment through that prayer at the end is very, very important.
Korangi do pebuchi nalia and chanju sambo kundu sambe molam odinde sanju molam chetinyen molam jayachi sunduhas and gesa chambo gombe kya chambe molam sachi yunguduhas that tene chi yaga gi pindu and pe kanje jungi keba and manguchi gi tetarik tumba cheje and molam mabu and zebe kine and the gilu wal to chashana and jangolama zonga chimbe and tonda me molam di ta ti chashi chires te mahimbe dawajing molam yoris.
And so Buddha Shakyamuni himself also made these prayers as the king of prayer by Bodhisattva Samanthabhadaras, the king of prayer, and also there is Buddha Maitreya's prayer, and there are many prayers like that, so many prayers composed by the great Indian masters and as well as the Tibetan masters, and among them, so one of the prayer composed by the Lama Tsongkhapa, known as the virtue in the beginning, middle, and end, and so it's one part of the prayer that Lama Tsongkhapa composed. There are also many other prayers, like the prayers to be born in the Amitabha Pure Land and so forth.
Ta sajare nyingmare gilure kajure chulu chamalolia and no malam saji tinde chogari damenda maboya debachi ta no malam saji ya tanyamendra ni je yedebachi sungro.
And so there are also many prayers composed by the great masters of the different Tibetan Buddhist traditions, like from the Sajja tradition, from Nyingma tradition, from Kagyu tradition, as well as from the Gelug tradition. There are many prayers and prayers composed. And so when we talk about the prayers and dedication, there are like some differences in praying and dedicating. So when you perform some kind of ritual prayers, prayer prayers, there's always some kind of prayers and dedications at the end.
And them Joe Church Tamin, them Joe shoot the Molam Jingudo, and Jiji Domin, Tishu de Molam Jingudo, and the page do the Manchale, Guri Molam Tungo Molams, what in the Yungudu was.
And so there are always some prayers at the end of that ritual practice, or the sadhanas, so of the, like in the Gelug tradition we have this the great tantric practice of the Guhya Samatha, and there is the dedications and prayers at the end of the sadhana, and also same with the Heruka practice and Yamantaka and all other whatever practice or sadhanas that one is doing, there's always prayers and dedications at the end.
That is molam to zoya koratuma maimbe kejuri yungudu was karasana tanda dutab tigi nyamling ne yong zoba tapena sound originalina kezogi ne yong zobati molam tinalia chaza chandabji or those chen susinyamne kanda kan cheba chetanda cheda cheshimba mongbala chebrin yube ti ene ji ta yende ngar maje sat keya ene ji keba no kombe tu yuya ene ji motoba no tobar cheya o tindri chedu gewang ma saji o tindri rede duwas kanda moman tinalia dutab tigi nyamne yonzolo tinal changchini yumuduwas.
But there is a dedication and prayers, uncommon dedication and prayers of each sadhana So, for example, if you're doing the sadhana of the Guhya Samadha, then at the end, when you do the dedications of prayers, then it also combines in the whole essential points of that practice. Like in the case of the Guhya Samadha practice, it includes all those main points of the both generation and completion stage practices, and also in the prayers, it's like you dedicate or pray or dedicate all those virtues that you are doing or you're continuing to do, and those that you might do in the future, and then also for dedicating or praying to have those realizations and qualifications, so qualities that you haven't had before, this new qualifications, and to increase those old qualifications which has already been achieved, and so forth. So always there is this uncommon prayers and dedications of that particular sadhana or practice.
Tatine mo molamgi khabar de khandi res na ane pejum musum res yore tat ze mixage yoche mo ze gawan didan disa chi yoche pena sanjo molam to buji na igi kan yiga yana dungi gon cho sabat yobe inza ne yana dungi gon cho sabe gawan dis ne gawan didi tat ji mo ze meeting shane and the tulatene didan ditabu yon shows cheje and monon gashavatala moas ta moje ze mixemi nisunji medevache and jidan jigdan kam degi yon show and ji nabachina sanje gitamba jawe show sando on tene simja tamje sanje yikoma toba show sando oda tindeji yawan di tula tene sajigi moje zeji mevachene chitangi tindegi chita monam chi gyabaina oti monam remato moa mares kares no moje zemi duas tatanda thonda matabujirina on moje zemi mixage sumi duwa monam gi panguchi dendeshu ene tishu telia chitandu chin thonda parsun gya kanda thosan gonsum nyamne jil jane sumu duas.
And so the difference between the prayers and dedication, there are three possibilities. So when we talk about the dedication, there has to be something to dedicate. So some kind of a virtuous substance, so that for you to be able to dedicate. But whereas for the prayers, you don't need that virtuous substance. You can just pray for so and so. So like in the case of the King of Prayers by Bodhisattva Samanthabhadra, there it involves the 7 limb practices. So whatever virtuous action that you have created through engaging in those 7 limb practices, and then that virtue you dedicate for this and that reason, and so you have that through the power of that virtue. May I have this, may I have that, and so forth. So that will be the dedication. So when you have something to dedicate, so virtuous substance. Whereas prayer, we were just praying. So they're saying that may that without involving in any practices period to that prayer, you just say, may there be happiness in the world. May the teachings of the Buddha increase in everywhere, or may all sentient beings achieve state of enlightenment, and so forth. So when you say that, then there's no prayers, and no substance, a virtuous substance, to dedicate. But when you have that virtuous substance, so through the power of this virtue, may I achieve this, may I have this, and so forth, then that's that becomes dedication. So without that, just praying in general, will be like prayers. So this teaching, and today we're going to have on virtue in the beginning and middle, and is mostly just prayers. That is associated with our practice. How we pray at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end.
Ejendu cha shabina shoge ene ji cha tsabata ene yonja phubata ene chumi phu pe phu da gi ge tsare dil di thula tenes ene shine ji simje thamalol ya ji dungi gyute chabal nyud chawa sho sando sanje yu koma nyud thoba sho sando 아니 랑 귤이야 살롱기 도웨인데 마게바 게바 코노콘도 페와 용 쇼사노 안 대사 탐정 중에 저 강다 강이네 디 아니 산제기 템발 투기 여자 산제기 템발 예버 쇼산 다 나와지 시샤진 슈위다스 아니 딘데기 살롱기 도웨인데 마게바 게바 코노콘도 페야데 자와도 가네 투거스나 람데 기게지 투기 여자 아니 양답의 계획신얘기 아니 제수 좀 쇼사노 어떤데지 뭐하다 뭐놈기 아니 된 소처지 숨레스 어떤데 숨도 왔어
and so in the morning, when you make prostrations, make water bowl offerings, or make offerings of the incense and so forth, you create a virtue by doing that. So that virtue you can dedicate. It's through the power of this practice of making offerings of the prostrations, water bowl, and incense and so forth. May there be no sufferings in the world. May sentient beings be all free from all the sufferings, and may they achieve state of full enlightenment and so forth. And also dedicating that, for one to have the realizations of the paths and grounds that one have not generated before, and which one has generated to increase more and more and so forth. So this is, I'm talking in terms of being a Buddhist, right? So someone who is Buddhist. So this is how you will be dedicating, right? So, and then all these all these practices and the realizations depends on the virtual on the spiritual friend or a guru. And so therefore one can also dedicate for one to be able to be cared by this guru all the time, like that. So that kind of dedications.
단도 산주 몰람기 뜻지단데 산주 몰람기 저제 갸침 쉬우래 산주 몰람 저제 갸침으로에 아니 산주 몰람기 저제디 님도 있지 추드베이나 몰람 갸부 숨날 드레스 계신이 양답이 계신이 제수 좀 봐스 되네 sem제 단제 라메 조베 창주 고마토베 치두스 되네 펜데 준네 산제기 담바 제바스 어텐디지 레스 어떤 갸부 숨 티나리아 만두비지 요마레스 어텐디지 숨도와 다 통다 마대야 자바보티 다 간주는 마마레 장골로 정거 좀 제브레 엔 장골로 정거 좀 제제 코데우 슈지레 제 코데우지레 레테 두스 삼노 십자시 담이나 산주 몰람나 순샤바티 에네타 코데비 돈 제셰견샤베 소르시도와스.
And so this, the King of Prayer, the subject matter of the King of Prayer is very extensive, but it can all be combined into just three prayers. The three King of Prayers. So, the first one is to be cared by the spiritual friend, or to be guided all the time by the spiritual friends, and for sentient beings, to achieve the peerless state of enlightenment, and for these beneficial teachings, the Buddha, to increase forever. So these three King of Prayers, so it can be all combined into this. Or although this King of Prayer has a great subject matter, but it can be all combined into these three. So, so this prayer for virtue in the beginning, middle, and the end by Lama Tsongkhapa is a very easy way of praying, or explained very easily, but it kind of combines all these three essential prayers of the King of Prayers. Also, the King of Prayers, these three essential points of the King of Prayer, explained very easily in this prayer by Lama Tsongkhapa. So we're going to start from the prayers. So please look into the prayer book if you have. That's in the Kurukula prayer book, page 103.
Tambo and Juju Java said that Java Tamjela and Chatsalos that the danger de Zumbe Tomegi Chuju Dirvas.
So the first one is homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 direction. So this is the paying homage, for composing this text.
Tako zik dewarangi ni jojati tenje jojati di ningdu di yigongogi chojo tigang rogoaji jidan rodare di leinda chojo gyawa seda jaba tamjal cha chalo saati kareresna chojo gyawa seda jaba se digarangi zik digi tan nabasanje tu maimuji kotoyaji duas.
And so, just by that prayer, that first line of the prayer of the homage, kind of brings all the essential meaning, of the whole, text. So, just by that prayer, homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 direction, shows all the prayers there.
Ta chuju gyawa se da jeba se de gyawa de sangye la ko, and se da jeba singing the changju sembe chol ko. Ta jeba satin says chanju sembe cho ta jeba satin la and induranje to zoyan ko ya ji imbare tende indu choju sangye singin di and tawaran jungi and tinichi reves that's choju sangye ta konjo choju sangye the tawaran jungi reves na tende mares konam yun sung that buddha satigi and sangye gi jagali jagya Sangelia Buddha sigors Buddha sati ko reshenil kogors and ni sangbas and peme dama gevasat ta ni sangbas du gengi timeri de rimbe chedas chine tar and duni maluba trawachila ni sangsa peme dama gesati and yendengi charimbe ya competition tar choni 용수 줘버지라 빼면 담아 yes 근데 인자 먼저 표백이 당에 주교인도 강바 시간이 나라 din이게 돈다 상버지네 상 yes 니 상바다 빼면 담아 yes 다 간들 상사야 되기 빵배연데 yes 해야 되기 또 배연데 당분에 빵 가서 빵자지 짜는 매베이나 그 빵사야 되는 거 말아 당분에 따바랑 주지나 예사디 용어 말와 신의 예사디 용어 말와 근데지 인도 나마상게 건조 세인도 다 따바랑 중 기부지 많이 봐 당부 말아줘다 탐해받아 나왔지 아니 림베 차다 치니 아니 dim니테네 손이 용수조베 아니 근데 건조 공방원도 제버지 임바사지 산 예사디 직대가 부다사디 어두스타르도스 조주 자와시 자와드 산젤 코르와
So when it says homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, so in the English, in Tibetan, it would be like all the victorious aunts and their victorious ones, their children, and so forth. So it would be like that. Exact, in translation, it would be like that. Of course, saying this way also includes all the meanings, but the exact word by word would be, homage, to the victorious ones, their children, and so forth, of the 10 direction, and like that. So when it's a victorious one, that's referring to the Buddha, and then the children, referring to the Bodhisattvas, and so forth. And so forth also includes others like hearers and soldiers, results, and so forth. So that can include. So when we talk about the Buddha, it's a Buddha, a permanent. Someone who is a Buddha from the beginning, who is not someone who became Buddha, but was a Buddha from the beginning, and always been Buddha like that. Then in Buddhism we don't accept, we don't believe that. We say that's not the case. So Buddha is not Buddha from beginning, and so it's someone who became a Buddha. And so in the Sanskrit word, the Buddha has two the words Buddha. So it's so it has like to awake, to awake from the sleep. So when when you have removed the sleep, then you are awake from that, right? And so it's like you are sleeping in the ignorance, in the delusions. When you have removed that, when you have cleared that, then you are awake. So awakened, and then other word is like the blossoming of the lotus. So when the lotus blossoms, it increases in all its petals. So just like that, the the qualities and the realizations of the Buddha, is gained, by one, through accumulating merit, and at the end, when one have accumulated, one who has completed both accumulations, the accumulation of merit and wisdom, and at that time, then one has completely blossomed. So that's in Tibetan we have sang ge. Sang means to clear away all the delusions, and ge means to have achieved all the qualities, all the knowledges, and so that shows that Buddha is not someone who is a permanent Buddha from the beginning, but someone who became Buddha eventually, by removing all these obstacles or delusions, and by gaining all these qualities.
Tak kandis jabre saying ko tande joja dil tene desheji ko jarji chimaina thosam gomsung nyamle thone ane sang bayimba tima sang bayimba rela thosam gomsung nyamle thone yende jebchiribas.
And how one achieved this state of Buddhahood, which has these two meaning, like how did one clear all the delusions, and how did one achieve all the knowledges and the realizations, is through the practice of the hearing, contemplation, and meditation. So through the hearing, study, contemplation, and meditation, then one clear all the delusions. Through contemplation, through study, contemplation, and meditation, one gain all the realizations.
Oh, that the Judelia cha chalo said, Jida and Nugicha, Magcha, Yikicha, what in the Jungrubas, Magdoyan Java, Magicha, and Nugi Kubachava, Nugicha, and Yigi Tawachava, Yigicha. Then the rete, the Yanina, Pepetsi dolda. Namo Satelia, Tanya, the Yunguyana Menamishi, Jagali Jagalia, the Pebeg Sigi, Chatselo Sada, could you show you deva? Karisna, Chasavati, Timachava, Yen Chava, and Nidung Chava, Salshavati, Kandu Tabachevi, Utigi, and Yendenti, and Tobrandeva, Sals, or Tustidu, or Tanamaransi Guria, Gengi. Riti Rangshinki Kugabajina, Kochatuya Mendoas. Nomon Betumati, Rangshinki Kodiana, Kochatuya Mendoas. Tinde Indu, Manzu Gulia, Gengi Chata, Nomombe, Tindegi, Zigi Chatigiti, and Rangshinki Kurmeva, Rangshinki to Metadaimba, Tila Rix, Rangshinki to Metabatala, Rix. That Tindeji, Rangshinki to Matadi, Nugi. Chaso Nomungi Gengi Kodavati, and Pataya Yavati, Koluva Inza, Timaluva Inza, and a Taya division, and a Chas, and a Sanji Kusuntugi and Denti, and the Javaseta Kusuntugi and Denti, and it's Dudus, Matabar Dudus said it. Karsore, that so Rani Kang. And a Mongolia, Conjo Combang on the chair, Sanjay Conjo Combang on the chair, Chu Conjogi, Yende Ranju get to ya, Kindu Conjogi, Combang Ranju, Chatuyachi, Conjo Combang Ranjulia, Juntuyachi, Devaji, not Digi, and Charles House, Choju Yawasa, the Java Charles House, Tigi, Shi Namsha, Langin Namsha, Nibun Namsha, Chataji, Tina Jui research to us.
So when we talk about homage, like homage, or sometimes we say prostrations, sometimes a prostration or homage. So can make a prostration or pay homage, through physically, verbally, and mentally. And so reciting praises, reciting praises or prayers and praises through speech, it becomes the verbal prostration, and bowing down with the body becomes a physical prostration, and having a faith and delightfulness in virtuous actions or in the object of the veneration, and it becomes the mental prostrations. So I don't know if the namo in Sanskrit, which is also the same as the making prostration or paying homage, but in Tibetan we say chak tsal. So when it has a chak tsal, it has a great meaning. Chak actually it means to sweep. To sweep away all the delusions, all the obscurations and delusions, and tsal means to have to achieve that, to seek, to want to have that quality. So chak tsal means to sweep away all the the dirts and all the faults, the delusions, and to achieve all the qualities. And so that also shows that these delusions within us are not nature of the mind. If it is nature of the mind, then it cannot be separated. It cannot be swept away from the mind, right? So it shows that it's not nature of the mind, and it is just temporarily is obscuring the mind. And so through through that it shows the nature of the Buddha nature, which we can which shows that our mind can be free from all these delusions. We can sweep away all the delusions from our mind, and by by clearing all these delusions, one can achieve the qualities of the Buddha's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind, and one can achieve that. So one can have the quality of the three jewels, the Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, the Sangha jewel, within oneself. And so that also shows the basis, the path, and the result.
Chidan zambulia chulu namena sochi yore chulu rana susugi ane chi chugi chi chego petang chugi kechu deshe minda chingure nangwa rangi thone ma dusin deshe gyayindu manzu nangchui gi che tuyada nangchui chebe gobati kararesana maranzu gyulia sanje gi koma toyagi rigi nubachi aris tata gata garbasachi sanje gi rigi tobe nubachi aris o tati ane rigi nubati kompetu ya tas ya kebe gone ane tigi nube ane kyongi chate maase yondegi chate pene tardu rangshingi tuma tatabe tola nuhugi tumati nam tabe chate ane tabanyindengi kuusene ane ngonyigi kuusene tudu togures jeje manzo sanje koma tulu todande tinde redwas tindu tande choji gyasad je tamjer chatsalo sayatigi gygyopskyube sanje gi yenden dende dilichi yede batigiti maran solaya tindegi tobe yende getuyagi nubachi yede ba o ti shila shabe tone ani chatsal sayachi dus chabina ani shilam desun tata nduye besochi twas.
So there are many different types of religions in this world, and so every religion have their own way of explaining and doing the practices, right? And so in Buddhism, in Buddhist tradition, in Buddha Dharma, where the quality of the Buddha Dharma is that purpose of practicing Dharma. What do we achieve? By doing this. What do we achieve? What benefits do we gain from doing this practice? Is that we can achieve a state of full enlightenment ourselves. And so we have that potential, to achieve enlightenment, that potential, which is called the Tathagata Garbha, and so that Buddha nature, or the potential, to be able to achieve. So by clearing all those faults and the delusions, and by gaining all those qualities, realizations, and then one can achieve the state of full enlightenment. And so that's also the Dharmakaya, or the two truth bodies of the Buddha, by clearing all the the faults and all the delusions, and by achieving all the qualities, you achieve these two kayas of the Buddha. So that is by by paying homage or by making prostration to the causal refuge in the Buddha, and one can also achieve that resultant, and the Buddha within oneself. So that kind of shows all these the basis, the path, and the results.
That the wogi ndordeng chute pejire, ta ingu dembadavatre, tayen rowa silu dachechir, tame mona hasan tabedab, lumen kunjo sunda todo chen transung ti denzen du ju chis ta ko tayen ro sile da che che sing chi di ta jogo chumbu shu chabre di kande res chewina nyama chuji pana di sha shuden jabe khadula ane se di chedu on lunga gya kanche de kande si yung res che chi kande shubre te kona shindu chu os sumbre ane gya chimanam se cheda use ya kande shubre tuzo lamri na yore gya chimanam se cheda yu kande shuindu nyawa chu yida chu tundu chu sne o tinde sumbre o ta tigi gyawa tigi dibu tigi nyawa jigri yida jigri tundu jigri shebe keja mare ta tigi jojati kande resina se digi chedu ane ngowa monam di chebe ina ngowa monam chebe ina se diliya se ringwe chedu am ne mebe chedu am penjo gebe chedu ina ko ti dibu takaranji se ringwe la penya ane ne mebe la penya ane penjo gebe la penya tini ji ta koran susu rindu kanchebe nashi 어디 연구를 근데 내 나자타야 돈달 샤브된 체비나 내 나자타야 핑크레스 어두스네 어슨 거 알아 어느 디 지부 세디 많이 봐 겨 치말 가리 연구를 겨 치말 디 지부 미야야 마르카스나 고 당보네 꾸노디 세디 체도 제베인자 엔 데코나신도 치오스 데코나마도 디 지부 엔 양교 제리 야마레스 제제 어디 순거 알아 근데 인자 엔 타연 로와 실레 다체칠 세인도 장학균이 약투야 매대백이 다 로아리 주고 semjen 생인지 에스 디 semjen기 체매바 찍래 다 되네 투유 체매바 카르스나 실레 다체칠스 semjen 참말로 스버 콜레 다야 콜레 터야 semjen 참말로 스버 콜레 터야지 여러베스나 다 리베 기생 터네 여비치 힘벌에 이내야 투지 디세야지 라투야지 촌이 매임벌 어 딘데 인도 던다레기 지 semjen 체매바도 투유 체매바 찍라 때네 아니 모놈 체매바 드니지 게인도 어따티기 게르지부 신다면도지 용야지 임벌에
And so then the first verse, which says, I make infinite prayers, with a pure higher intention to liberate infinite beings, from samsara. May these all come true through might of the powerful sages and infallible three jewels of refuge. So this it kind of abbreviates the whole prayers in this. This shows the condensed meaning of the whole prayers. And so, one time, when during the time of Lama Atisha, someone, said, when you dedicate, the merit, for this life, then what happens? And then what happens? Then it says it will be only for this life. When you dedicate for this life, it will only for this life. And then what happens, to the next life? And then he says next life will be, the hell realm, the next hell realm, Hungry Ghost realm, and the animal realm. So. So it doesn't mean that, through that prayer. So when you dedicate the prayer for this life, you'll be born in the hell realm and animal realm and a hungry ghost realm. Doesn't mean that. But then when you dedicate for this, the merit for this life, it only, becomes for this life. So what is left for them? There's nothing, for the next life. And so where you'll go, it will be the lower realms, So if you dedicate, for to not have any illness or diseases, then that will help to not have illness and disease in this life. If you dedicate that for a long life, it will help to have a long life. If you dedicate that for more wealth, increasing of the wealth and so forth, then it will help for that, but it will not help for the other things. So that that will be nothing for that. So this when you talk about I make infinite prayers here in this text, when you say I make infinite prayers, so so infinite prayers for the infinite sentient beings. So it's infinite sentient beings. How many sentient beings there? There's like infinite, right? And then there's infinite time. and so till all sentient beings are free from cyclic existence, right? So when we talk about freeing all sentient beings being free from cyclic existence, it is possible logically, but at what time will it be possible? It will be very, very uncertain, right? We don't know how long, after how long. So therefore, it's an infinite time. And so if we do that with the infinite prayers, then definitely we'll have a great result of doing these prayers.
Mm-hmm. Tanda jizu melarevegi tungnuchi nangaduwas, ti halaj duwas, mime lumbe trabudu, tambu shive molamde, ndoye tana tebrisho, temna samba zowa yis. Ta chidanda molam kanda kanya yapchogru wata, rehti, tim kongi, ta beti, jitwe tinaliya, gol charje mewa, shina ngume mewa sar, tindegi ta, beti loho chembe toni, 공부 몰랑 견셔봐 되게 참말로 강거 돈다 인신디 너가 돈을 타버셔스네 너가 타입에 생전 돈달라 엔 제도 인세 어디 다 린다메베기 다 식시우지 도와스 በት 지단깔에 수 강다 가인의 수야 약초래 레디 생전 참말로 돈달라 네깔에 드니 자기 유사지 다티 뭐네 린다메베 지르도와 미메롱베 타고도 땅보시베 뭐는데 너에다나 타브리쇼스 템마 삼바 조베다 이네 콩기 삼든 루소스 다 제르무체 단데 데가라레 담보자체 태바 마운드자 바도 숑루 탐제 담바르샤 담아는 이제 군도 냠솔로 다 되게 가래 수야 잡초래 되게 잡아티기 아니 마케다 친구 차야 나 라케야 보라야 마치 다 디나리아 왕수 친구 용야 개변년다 용야스 근데 많이 봐 아니 꾸인야 담아게베 체동모스 다 산제기 담바 심쟁기 디지 산제기 담바 라레브스 남베 도단 토네 다가레 근데 인자 꾸인야 담아게베 체동모스 다 수수 개변 돈다 지야메 되버지 다 지중요리 변모는데 하 레브르샤 정원은 정도 침범하는데 할 레버리샤 근데 리드 도와스 근데 인도 단단디나 타이언도가 실레 다제지 생긴데 다 네버 지고르 지까바이나 다 지고 전부 쉬우레스
and so there's also this prayer by Milarepa where he say he is residing in a solitude in the mountains and in a solitude, and not caring about his own body and not caring even if he died there and so forth, and dedicating always for the sentient beings. So he says, I'm dedicating for sentient beings, and if that dedication comes true, then my wish has been fulfilled. So like that. So if that's a very powerful person, not caring about oneself. It's always thinking about the other sentient beings, and so working very hard. So of course anybody can work hard, but working hard for the sake of sentient being and dedicating for that, it's very, very amazing. If Lama Tsongkhapa did that, and also Lama Tsongkhapa also, so always dedicated for others. This is like at the beginning, he studied extensively, and then in the middle, everything that he studied, and appeared as instruction at the end, and put that all into practice. And then even then, he said that all this, I dedicate, for the increasing of the Buddha's teaching. For the flourishing of the Buddha's teaching. So all these, the prayers, that they make, for the sake of others, not for oneself, to become learned, oneself to become powerful, oneself to become famous and so forth, but only for the sake of others sentient beings. So these kind of prayers, very, very, very powerful. So here, when it talks about also, I make these infinite prayers for the infinite sentient beings, it becomes very, very powerful.
No. 타코 상주말은 나래 숨도와 남게 타도 교와 지잠바 심제 말로 타야 디신데 지잠래다 영원 타르교와 다금말은 타야 디잠모스 semjen nangada nyamba nangala che sundu meba nashi semjen le che ya mars semjen malu tayan tishin des tende inza semjen tigi ji le da nyomombe ji da leji kunju da nyom kunju ko ya tya che mebjiro 지장 레다 녀모 타르교바 다그 몰론 타야 테자모스 아니 녜 몰론 타야 뒤 퉁퉁지다 셈제 뉴뉴지다 틀레 마임바 지시 셈제 되게 레녀 마서 봐도 녜 몰론 타야 안티파드인스 제제 소야테다 두조다 돈다 찍르고도 왔어.
And also in the King of Pearls, where it says that so just as there is infinite space, there is infinite sentient beings, and then just as there are infinite sentient beings, there are infinite delusions, karma and delusions, and created by the infinite sentient beings. So he says, my prayer is also infinite like that. Yeah, so then so one's prayer is not just for a short time, for a small purpose, but for the infinite prayer, until all the karma and delusion of sentient beings are exhausted or eliminated. So that's how pensive my prayers is like that.
Oh, that in the that tendegi monomdi and tondan ruya chedu luar mebe jamne kunjosungi tuji tudola tene and tuban namgi tuis transson sengde tubatuzo kogore choju sanje tuzul kogore choju sanje da chanju samba tuzul kogore in choju sanje da tedan namgi tu choni yonsu zobe tui ane da dinsin nuber kyuchi isne dambadavar.
And so then, so there's like may these prayers, come true, through the power. So whatever prayers one made, may this come true through the power, of the sages and infallible, Trijos. So sages here also includes, all the practitioners, especially like the Buddha, Dhamma, and some of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So and the Trijos, through their power, may all my prayers, come true like that.
Oh, basically, 도나 중요기래 야와이 신의비 야야 룽던 난다야기 야세 중고 시월하기 준주고 치 지시 남가 내봐다 로와 지시 내기로 지시 다는 내기는 로에 두면서셔서 어디 타연도와 실레다제 치르세한테다 다기 남게 타도 줘서 콘족한 거 돈다 찍르다스.
So as you might have already noticed, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama always makes this prayer. Says, as long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, I too remain like that. So this is very similar, to the prayer here. Says, I make these infinite prayers, with a pure high intention, to liberate infinite beings from samsara. So these words have very very strong powers, right?
That Thai Yerendoa, Sibokoa, Doyadi, Candescent Dores, that could Tiragan Leveros, Candescent Dores, or Tati Molam Chuo Dreachi Reves, Tinde Marvas, that co Nani Killer, Tarbe Lamdengi, Tabarala Rally, Shebriki, Sanje Ranigi, Sanje Korangi too. Any Sabbath Gacher Lamjir Chitan Yamyon Korvati and Lamden Gay Council, my Shigi, and Karanzo Tetan Yamsul Lambagone, and Ya Manashi and Rada Matochi, Gay Karanzo, and Dibat Chu to Yomare, Gay Char Tanje, Karanzo, and a Tashi Dania, Chituache Yomaris, Namusungiva, Sanjay Kainal, to Nam Dibat Chu, Mujushi. Roe Dunia Chag Misela, Nigi Toba Shenla Pominde, Chuni Dambatem Petrova, Chitar, Sanje Korang, the Tujugi, Nyamyung, that Sashavati, and Dujalia, Tatampagone, Dujan Yamsulambagone, and Ya Tabatamji Gavakumaya, Dogo Res, or Tinde Indu, the Tayeven door, Sibali door, Kandi Goresana, Tosam Gonsu in Yamaji Tone, that Dogoachi read to us, or Tit that Sungars, Nangata, Tosam Gonsu in Yamaji Tone, Dogoyavati.
And so this kind of infinite beings, how can one free all these infinite beings from cycle existence, from the samsara. So just by praying can we liberate all sentient beings? And just like Buddha said, I can only show you the path to liberation, but the liberation depends on your hand, in your hand. Liberation depends in your hand. So so just like Buddha practiced, so whatever the realizations and experiences he gained through his practice, he can pass that down to us, and then through studying and contemplating and meditating those, then we can achieve enlightenment. So that's the only way. So just like Buddha said, I can't wash away the negativities of the sentient beings, and I can't remove their sufferings. I can't transform my realizations. The only way I can help others is by showing the true the true path, or the truth, by showing the truth, the path, to achieve liberation. And so so then from there here we can understand that, and how can we achieve, how can all these infinite sentient beings to be free from cyclicity, is by engaging in the practice of study, contemplation, and meditation.
Ta tosam gomsungi nyamne chik sayatigan le yundu ta namju shenda minda chi gogu yote ta sevi shu chabravas nubu topshu chigin digi mede ching dang mede ching nubu topshu chigo ina langje ina digre langje nubu ina digre te chigo dang mewa ta namju gi sayitan dam chi gogu yote chi o tinde chi indu ene o seddi zamayimba kyawa gyune ene ji ganjen zochewa tada te tunjen zochewa tada tsandavegi ene chu jubegi ten kebar jingi milu tobeyachi yangyachi tondala ene molomdi gyungudu wasi dani kishi kyawa tamjedu nyason nyandro wabara tongwayi kene namsu namyami kishi tanjo tsame milu tobar shoosa tunsom gomsungi ten kebar jen ene tenjogi milu togugu yoba yinza tigichidu mambares.
And so in order to do this practice of study, contemplation, and meditation, we have to have a special state of mind or intelligence to be able to do that. And so just by having a powerful body, one will not be able to do that. If so, then the elephant has a very powerful body. It should be able to do, right? But it's not. That's not the case. So in order to do this practice, one has to not only in this life, but one has to have all the favorable conditions. One has to be free from all the obstacles, all the unfavorable conditions, and have all the facilities, all the favorable conditions to do this practice. So that's why in this next verse it says, "May I, in each and every life, never take birth in any abodes, failing back to realms of bad migration, but attain human form with all the freedoms and endowments." So here one is praying to have this perfect human rebirth with all the leisures and endowments to do the practice.
Oh. Tanda junju chichi duas dagi joba dindene mi luja tomaj mi lu toba majuna dibo bashi gawa mes ane kate kewa chima mena nezu kagares kate kewa chima chi yobaina kewa chima di kandejin roda mando sayade susu tategi chachu da tategi kunun dilaya ta rale bachi tenden res tategi kunun di ta chachu di gewe choliya ane chi tumbe cho sangbe choliya ta yaguji mangchewa chi ruyana ane kewa chima dilaya ane tindi 상아치 용화인데 다 타녀res 다된 나란주 곰시 딘데지기 토네 자주다 디 야용선 렌제기 꾸는다 제바 지 삼례 켜서 어떻게 되기 토네 제베이나스 오 땡땡미도아스 다 저처마데 덴르데 사디 땡땡미도아스 가테스 아니 덴르데 마도이나스 근데 시민저고 다안저고 시저 어떻게 질 깨발라메이나 아니 미 코고 춘절라야 아니 소자 써야지기 다 근데 방도도 그저 자딩이 어떤지 누가 시민들이 니 그들에 들려지 어다 들려지 지스야 어떤지 소화해야 돼 디벨레라 나만 슈슈비에 되네 겨와네 아니 랑도 때네야 코라 튼도인 베차네 아니 몽데네 어떤지 해도 와서 아니 밀리가 터문겨 밀리 터버 맞잖아 디버바시 겨와메스 어떤데 인디 ji kyawa chimati dendru ten intinane milu ten singindi toyati shira kechambures di indu di chidunga nam chawi imbare.
And so just like it is said in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, that in looking at the action, that we are looking at our action now, we will not be able to achieve higher rebirth. We will fall down into the lower realms, and we will not be able to achieve higher rebirth. And so, if we are not, in a higher rebirth, as a human, in a higher rebirth, then the only the action we engage in will be negative actions. So, like if we are not born as human beings, and are born instead, if we are born as a tiger or a cat and so forth, then we will always, be creating negative karma all the time. And so, even in the dreams or in the sleep, so like sometimes you see the cats, they're moving their claws, right? And so they may be dreaming, about catching a mouse, and how to kill it and so forth. So there's even in the dream, there's always things like that. So so if we don't, if we are not born in upper realm, if we are not born as a human beings, then all the time we'll be creating negative karma throughout day and night. And so therefore, it is important, to be born as a human being, and where one will have all the favorable conditions to do the practice. So therefore, praying, to have a good rebirth, a good human rebirth is very important.
That ganje chochewa tadate, tunje chochewa tadatsambe, chögye tsandenge, tenjo miluji toba wandu tangba inaya, ane ko tosam gongsu, tenjo milu toba chigogi tosam gongsu nyamne shukchen yongse nyaba yomares. Ta ko ti kaptele ya, ane ji tandadi ta nyamne chebegi, ta tunje ane tuynyongwa, chawanyongwa, tsendinangi ane ji yingwa nyongwa, o tendeji goyate kechembu chago waras. Tendeji indu, tendeji yongwa la ane changjugi, rabjung changjugi tende, ane chodo nga bachire, tende inza kiama tane sibe dewa la namya macha taba topjechi nyingjung sambe changjugi chowa la zunru roba meba jubar shohosene. 다 김바치나 김기 차회 인베 고네 에네 수수 냠네 친데 유네야 김기 차회 인외 에네 고투주지 단님에 대바지 어 근데 인자 라도 총어도 대치기 고가 마요 바지 어 근데 기전 때네 에네 라도 총어만 바지레스.
And so even if one is born in upper realm as a human being, with all the favorable conditions and free from all the unfavorable conditions, like having 8 leisures and 10 endowments, the 18 attributes of the Prophet human rebirth, but it's not necessary that one will be able to do, the practice of the hearing, contemplation, and meditation. And so in order to be able to do that, one has to have less things, to do in this life, right? Less involvement, in the meaningless affairs of this life. So if one is distracted, by all those, things in this life, then one will not be able to do the practice. So as a lay person, even if one have the wish to do the practice because of all this distraction, to the secular life, one doesn't find the time to be able to do that. And so therefore, if one become ordained, a celibacy ordained, then one will have less, of less involvement, to the worldly things. And so therefore, in this next verse is praying, to be born, to be able to, become a monk or nun like this. From very birth, may I never cling to samsaric pleasure, but to gain liberation, strive with unrelenting enthusiasm to pursue pure lifestyle with the renunciations.
단데디 다자도 뭐 코난기 구제 남다르 톤 제베 있나야 아니 예베 세지리아 아니 퉁제 레데 아니 깨와나지 둥에 시베 고네 아니 창주기 때리야 아니 루두까지 제네 뭐도 산게 다 되네 누에나네도 스마 누유도 스간저 제베 있나 김베텐 두주 톤에 통람기 또번예가 또 연구도와 최기 미들메지 트마다 타와 사지 남사 테마다데 토버레 소아지기 최기 미들메지 트마다 타와 쓰는데 가테 파라가테 세데 파라가테 테레도와 통한기 담바 김배단이야 토바 연구도 노때 라점에 리부티 이지미지 냐바친도 결혼기 때 결혼 마게 때야 아니 냐바친도 아니 톱고 여봤다 붙이기 어떤데지기 단데 지다 두벨롱 시샤 토네 말루준 만도이나 어떤데 레데샤 근데 인자 아니 야세 좀 시월하기 땐자 결혼이나 결혼이 작가에 냈으나 때문에서 에너지 다좀비고 어떻게디 아니 결혼이 되는 톱고 그 통용글로 유나나 더 어두스레도 와스 어디 숨도 와 어떤데 인도 단단히 민주사배 참주 처벌 전주 협업에 주고 쇼사야 돼 내가 직책이 열었어.
So like even in the case of Buddha Shakyamuni, he was born as a prince, and then and later by seeing the sufferings of the birth, aging, sickness, and death, and then he took the celibacy, and and by meditating for intensively for 6 years, achieved in a state of enlightenment. And so it is said that in order to achieve you can achieve up to like part of seeing, even as a lay practitioner, you can achieve up to the part of seeing, but to achieve the state of the arhat ship, it has to be on the basis of either a fully ordained monk or none. And so that's why it says that the fully ordained monk and nun is the root of the Buddha's teaching. So that's because through that the Buddha's teachings the dwells or resides, and therefore so it is important to pray to be a monk or not. So this is what he's saying here, to strive with unrelenting enthusiasm to pursue pure lifestyle with renunciation.
다때는 텐더럽도 중앙대 아니 텔리안 간게미야 체도 다음에 럽도 중앙 제발로 코다니도 롱주 관계냐 기제매버 tumbe께나고 제타 삼바이신 루버 쇼스네 아니 지친 간게매버 튕겐루야 다때는 아니 친 간게매버 지 럽도 중앙 제변 간게매버 튕겐되기데 상바 있나야 딘데기 땡텔이야 아니 럽중 남다요 들 럽도 중네 지시 처해봐 캔로 제가 제다 캔라시 제다라시 카나마도베 예배 나면 거바 마주직스 어떤지기 아니 팀대인지 용투야 아니 팀대기 팀대인데 럽도 중에 넘바 내자 마임바 디땡이야 아니 토상 공순기 티버침이 토상 공순 연구를 아니 님들이 티버면에 아니 가서 단단히 토성 공수 연구를 뒤나라 참조 때나 티버 첨부이 서진 자제 전화 진행봐 만원 돈도 까와토마이 까와바도메 버셔스 어떻게 디고 알레도 뭐 땡기고네 아니 개첨부 주단티기 아니 지 시텐디 숨도 왔어.
And then in that life, when one is ordained and become a fully ordained monk or nun, in that life, to not have any obstacles, to have all the favorable conditions, to be able to do the practice, to be a successful vow holder, to hold the vows and observe the moralities, properly. And then there's these prayers, in the next line says, may no relations or possessions whatsoever obstruct my taking ordination, but may all conducive circumstances come together just as wished. And so, and then to be able to do this on that basis of having all these favorable conditions and not having the unfavorable conditions, and to be able to do the practices like the practice of the hearing, contemplation, and meditation, of the Mahayana practice, of the Hinayana practice also. So to be able to do that, then make these prayers again. So once ordained, may I never be stained by force of the natural or prescribed negativities, just as I have promised before the eyes of my abbot and masters, and as long as I live, relying on the ethical purity, may I practice every vast and profound Mahayana teaching through many austerities, for the sake of my mothers, for countless eons.
That the any 정글로 정가고 준비 미팅이 투매지 뭐 뭐는 되는지 난 초래 number dia and Sanju Monum Kunda never read was Sanju Monum Nala Chanju Jobatan Dajuji Rogundu Gawa Chanjuji Saragundu Chimbu Gawana that the donor of the Junsho Gawakundi Jesu Loguji Sambu Joba Yonso Zojaba Chudun Joba Time Yondaba that the Manukim Job Shossen or G the Koregi Nedantigiti and Gengi Chatigiti and Shebe Tone and calling every Nijung Sambe Shichebe Tone and Chudunam that young shows Raju Yoma shows Sanjo Mononala Yunguans.
And so this prayer, of the virtue and the beginning, middle, and end by Lama Tsongkhapa is very similar, to the King of Prayers also. So same kind of prayers, is in the King of Prayers, where then you by seeing the disadvantage of the cycle existent, may I be able to generate the renunciation towards that, and then through absorbing the vows and moralities purely, may I be able to fulfill these practices. So that kind of prayer is also found in the King of Prayers.
Tati lutengi chanere nangi ken samba punzo ta chi ken geweshinge shiuji ra levre lamden del shiuji ra levre labda keda chimbo yoda me singindi labda gigendi yabu yoda me gang dogre mado chi zugdun yada ma ke ja marwas o petin na shinchi gi naran soya do manu sajachiliya ta shine lamba zen do yundu di lamden chingi di shiuji ge chimbo yinza am tinde lamden gi gigendi khandi goresna lundo yende tume gyutam shins ta lungu yende tobo yende ombu shishin rabdul ningze ches shendun kyome drube ningdobchen shinye tambe jesu zimri shos ta ko di tsikje dinala ani gigengi tsinye diya tata yungudwans kenja gewe shinye tsinye diya shinye tuwa shiwa nye shiwa sayagi dudi genge o tsurungi labe shiwa tingin zingi labe nyewar shiwa tsurungi labe tuwa tingin zingi labe shiwa eni sheragi labe nyewar shiwa say tiyan dinala ya tata tsangidwas.
And then, so we have to have all these, favorable conditions to be able to do the practice. So the internal, favorable condition and the external favorable conditions. The internal favorable condition is once one the good heart and so forth. And then the external favorable condition for one to be able to do the practice is, having a fully qualified spiritual master, spiritual teacher, who can lead us. So if you have that, then one will be able to, do the practices, do the studies and practices properly. So just like the famous schools, whether the school becomes famous or not depends on the teacher, not on the external facilities, right? And doesn't depend on the external facilities. Even if you have very good facilities, but if there's no good teacher teaching, then school will not become famous. So just like that, and so so we're going traveling on a path to this enlightenment, which we have never traveled on before. So we need someone who can show us the right path, the right path and the right way to get to that state. And so that's what's said in the next line. So it says, may I always be cared for by Holy Master, whose minds filled with scriptural knowledge and insight, and whose faculties are peaceful, subdued, whose compassion. So this also explains the qualifications of the guru, of a qualified guru. So someone who is a qualified guru, so should have this kind of qualifications, like whose mind is pacified, whose mind is subdued and pacified and closely pacified, like the subdued by the morality of the training of the morality, and pacified by the training of the concentration, and closely pacified by the training of the wisdom. So these are the qualifications that a qualified master should have. And so here, also actually it explains about the qualification of the qualified master.
No, lungto sayang tsitina nuga chimbo shivuchi chabre, ani sanje ki temba zi singedila. And lungu temba ziyachi ta toba temba ziyachi ni re lungu temba tele shosna and denusum dire duwe denu, ngombe denu, dodi denu sum na, nyamlen cheyatire, ta kandalo jong cheyate. Ta tobe tenpa shio sesuna, to sayaga to tela, chudung gilaba, tingi zingilaba, sherab gilabas, o tindi, o laba sumdire, o tindi chigi, lung denu sungi chenye da, lam laba sungi nyamlen, o tindi chigi cheba tela, lungdo ki tenpa zin sayare, o tindi indi gigen tiya, lungdo ki yendengi, gyu damba chi kukures. Tiyi gantala ya, chudung dan tenpa sayaga ton, tsikti, ongbo shishin, raptul sayatiki, chudung dan tenpa tiri. Tindi chi yeba ina ya, kechu kandi chi korusina, shenla nyingze da denpa chi gore, nyingze ches, duja jesu kyunga nyingze da denpa chi gore. Ta tene shendoi kyune dhruve nyingdop chen sengente, peche tendende chwe dan sangsing pendo la zomba sengenge, ta ti kung dhruv mendo sengde. Chudum denshin dhruve choga she, nebar nyingze korne tabada, chwe dan sangsing pendo la zomba, chwe ki gone pendo, sangsing gone pendo be, tindegi ta nyingdop chi yedeba chi sungu mendo senge, shendo kyome dhruve nyingdop chens, o tindegi kejo tsambe, shenye tambe jesu zimba shoos.
And so, when it talks about the scriptural knowledge and insight, it's very important here, because in order to preserve the teachings of the Buddha, you need these two: the scriptural knowledge and the insight. And so, what is in scriptural knowledge? So that's the three baskets of teachings. The basket of teachings, of the Vinaya, the Sutra, and the knowledge. And so these three are the one that we study. So, and then through studying that, then there's what is the insight or the realization that you gain. Is the realization of the three trainings. The training of morality, training of concentration, and training of wisdom. So those are the insight, the realizations. And so you need a teacher whose mind is filled with the scriptural knowledge and the realizations of the three trainings, and also whose faculties are peaceful, subdued, and who is compassionate. And so someone whose mind, who has a very who holds his or her vows purely, very ethical, and then the subdued who is compassionate, who has the a very strong compassion, to work for the others' benefits, for the benefit of others, and someone who can help by giving teachings, and also through material support also, so like who needs to have the material support, providing material support as well, to do the do the practice. So and then who tirelessly encourages serving others in welfare. So someone like this, so praying to be always cared by this kind of holy master.
Trine na share lobzan teshas ta kamanchu jongaji to attend to Zushanas.
And so that's all I want to speak from my side today, and we'll leave maybe 10-15 minutes time to do a question answer.
Can answer looks at the question answer looks at
no. So anybody have question?
Yes or not?
Any questions? You don't have to do the teaching.
No comments.
Yes.
What recommendations would you give, Rinpoche, for a Western practitioner who's interested in becoming ordained?
Rinpoche samja karen nange ba karsa paran zo ta chija nyamle chinga de sola tawa ani che chendo yo na an che ala samja na ta lapcha karen nange na Rinpoche.
차견 상을 뒤다 조조 개체시를 봤어. 차견 당사대. 이 튼게 tungen de keche shujiribas.
So the most important thing is to have the facilities, the favorable condition.
Any domadu Saturday, Chuzing and Chadu ko dombati daji suya mare logic suya mare music suya kejere o ko kuyu chagendi samle titola shin samdaya chitwas.
So the giving of the vow, the taking the vow, is very easy. It's just maybe 1 or 2 hours job. But keeping the vow is not just for one day or or 1 year. It's for the rest of the life. Yeah? And so whether you'll be able to keep those vows purely or not, depends on all the all other conditions around you. So it is very important to think about that.
Tinde inza ene nge ngosho tinde ma tabachi ma anichi o tinde lamye du nyaliya ene chagen ya woji hoya nang samne thone gore chi kuyu chane gore o tuzu tholiya munju ne samno chemu tangores ngatinde logiyus.
So Rinpoche said that many of his friends who came to say that they want to become monk, they want to become nun, but Rinpoche always advised them to check the conditions around them first, to see whether they have all those conditions to be able to stay as a monk or nun.
Daya tsije shendachi yardas. Dumna kim dumna na ya tharba ye pabu gyalen marba laso shins. Madu ringo ne ja ngawe gyu chiwa sayu kumbur neva shins. Utindi tsije yaras. Susu mana landor gi nyamle ne chiwa ya hochi chungba inane kimbe saje gang dene ya jingone thane gi salang to nyeba dan ji mela re Loda Marvare, that in this Paube Galen, Marvala Sosin, and Java Paube Yuli, Mambuchum Yore, Tuto, and Gewachum Yore, Lombochum Yore, Gewa in the boutique Sumbe, or that in the Mambuchum Yores, and Chegame Namsun Salu, what in the Mambuchum Yores, Lombo Tranishas, Paube Galen, Marvala Sosins. Madu Ringone Jangawe Use. That to what did you get to chiche and Yamana and chi singing the gonga and in the hot chi and Saikunguna de you are the Kotawaja Gajaya Maris Chivi singing. Those things, boo singing it.
Marmot, okay.
Oh yeah.
So there's a saying that if you practice, then you can achieve realizations, insight and realization even as a lay person. If you don't, then even if you don't practice, even if you are monk, residing in the solitude, in the mountains, will not have will not be able to again gain realization. So those lay practitioners who practice, who are able to practice, can achieve realizations, just like Milarepa, Marpa, and also many other great masters from India. Like the kings, and even there has been a kings who have achieved realizations, and ministers like King Indra Buddhi, and ministers, and also the 3 great kings from Tibet. They all were lay persons, right? So they gained realization in their lay life. But if you don't practice, even if you become a monk and go to a hermit, if you don't practice, then just merely changing the external clothes, and if you don't do the practice, then it will be like a mermaid, who stays inside the hole for like 6 months. Doesn't mean it's meditating,
Oh yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for your teachings. We're very grateful for your being here. I had a question about the meaning of Monlam. And one of the things I've wondered about is that in Christianity and other religions where there is a God, you pray to God to do something. And in Buddhism, Monlam seems like it's different. And I wanted to hear Islam is maybe different than the way that Westerners think about prayer.
네, 당연히 melong 거 되는 거죠. that 가서 about the issue 건저 melong 되어야지라 건저 다 이슈라 so the god 건저 control melong 되어야지다 당간적이 단에 배배 melong세니 당간적 가서 남벽이 melong세니 this middle 통도 anti middle containers the 건저 control melong 되어야지 당간적이 남배 melong 되어야지 melong the middle containers
그 이슈 줄고 뭐는데 간데지 이민디 나 아버지 자초에 매다스.
So Rinpoche say he's not familiar, with the prayer, done in the Christian way. So,
가이나 나 쳐봤지 나지 러비스.
but Rinpoche say he would just, say something, through assessing it. Yeah.
다 남주 순서라 뭐놈라 한바체고스. 뭐놈라 한바체고스 제브레.
So,
단다 상주 모름나라 여르네 단다란데 로 조사 말에 가야 두순시비 자와이 상부 전주접에 모는 제라나 대구 말로 다그 조버기 있어 베지 여래 어떤지 여래 배 두순지 산제 되게 배 통매 경주 가르나샤 어떻게 참으로 내치기 사지 어떤지 티날 여래 상주 모름나 상부접에 모는 제라나 대구 말로 다그 조버기 사지 여래 어떤 모놈 생긴들 한바 채고스 다 틴데지기 칙디기 잠종을 차샤니 페이지스 심전 참말로 던달라 베티 나코 마동부터 대기 신이 틴데티 남벌마도 페이지 모놈 티냐니 유지 말했던 거두스 안에 심전 참말로 던달라 니 개와 간제고 간걸로 뒤주체도 아니 용쇼스 어디에야 나무마도 제가 아이였던 것도스 다 딘데기 처음에 아니 모놈 로 첨보 닝도 첨여기 아니 모놈기 디릭디 데스 케버 남비 케버 인기레 나상기스 테마도 아니 지 걔네 상부께 쇼사가 모놈 사도 아니 지 류대단 용 쇼사도 아니 지 연대 패가 쇼사노 말이야 지 연대 양부 야고 용 쇼사노 and certain shosa that does it chitu you sangutus.
So in Buddhism there is a saying that you have to be greedy, with the prayers. So you have to want more as much as you want, for the prayers. And so you have to be more greedy. In a sense, like you have to pray for bigger things. So I think there's a saying, and there's a prayer in the King of Prayers also, saying that. But I don't remember exact the word, all the lines. But there is a thing that's whatever the Buddhas of the past and Buddhas and Buddhas of the future will do. Whatever they do, I will do that. I will complete that. I will complete that. So that kind of strong prayers. So whatever that they were not able to fulfill, I will fulfill it. So like that kind of strong prayers. So you have to have that. And so making prayers in that way, so saying, I will remain, in cycles, I will remain in samsara. I will remain in samsara, I will remain in cycles, as long as the sentient beings remain, and I will, I will dedicate all my merits, whatever merits I accumulate, I will dedicate all this, for the benefit of sentient beings, like that. That kind of prayer is only found in Buddhism. So no other religion will pray in that way. So that's what I think, and I don't think there would be such a kind of way of making prayers in other religions. And other than that, like saying that may I have a good rebirth, good life, may I have no sicknesses, a healthy body, and some good knowledge, and long life, and so forth. It's a very common prayer of all the religions, all the people.
Tatne tikandel thebati lana mebe molam sa tikanga ane kusumi mi bitawe gete be molam ji ngudu was ta tidit nambe thumo mai be chirwas
And on top of that, an extensive prayers, so then you adorn that prayer, with the view of emptiness. And so that's very uncommon, found only in Buddhism.
Tako jigden kobo deba dangan debi kebachi ribas. Tan jigden kobo deba didu tamje ane tuji dani konjo singen jigi ane jigden kobo tigi ane chazan jigi chala yeba jigi iche cheyindu ane samboyan yeba ji narona jiji narona seyindu korang chaniya dinagi yeba rabo jigi. Tan nangbegi dandapadu jibe monon digi de changmallo 강가로 기란티 나로나 사티기 제지 소소하게 두무고 계자마레 다기 쉬거나시 토성 검순고 토네 아니 냠내기 좀 받기티 아니 몰람이스 어 딘데기 아니 담보고라는 차차를 세인도네 니에 반제 디바티기 좀 마신도 랑도 냠내기 또네 아니 바 장국이 여바다 연대께국이 여바 시샤지기 토네 아니 몰람 자윤도 jigden ko babu deba da mandevi kebar tone ta kebar chi chumbares ite diksare.
So one of the Geshe-la made it a little bit clear about your question. So maybe you're talking about like in Christianity, when they pray to the God, then they believe that the God will give whatever you pray for that, right? So they have the power to give you. So in Buddhism also we have this in a view, with which says that the view of the Creator. So there's a view of the Creator which is asserted by other religions. So they have this Creator of the Creator of the world, and who creates everything. So the world, the people, good and bad, everything is created by. So when you pray to that Creator, then because that Creator has the power, so that can give you whatever you want. So that's how it is believed when the believer of the creators pray, when they pray in that way. So not necessarily Christian, but anybody who believes in a creator, and pray in that way. But whereas in Buddhism, of course we pray, so may I be like that, may I be like that. But again, like I mentioned earlier, so just by praying, will you achieve everything? No, you have to still do, you have to still do the practice of the hearing, contemplation, and meditation. And so through doing that, then you will be able to achieve all the realizations and the freedoms and so forth by yourself.
Drame chingilab, jambayang chingilab, jeresigi chingilab saj, chilab juice, the totten juice in Muduas, in a the susu duguduas, you just.
So on top of one's own effort, and practice, then you can also get assistance, as a blessing, from the outside, So like when you have the direct vision of the Manjushri, direct vision of the Tara and so forth, and then through that you can get the blessing as an aid, to your practice, for your practice to become successful, for there to be no obstacles and so forth. It can help that way, but one has to do mainly from one side, to gain the realizations.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
So one thing I've always wondered about is, I think it's the 8th Bodhisattva Bhumi, is sometimes called Monlam, and it's associated with it is the quality of movability, like a mountain. And I was wondering if Rinpoche could comment on that.
먼저 지단단 싸게봐 말람스 그랬어. 말람스 딜라데는 대동아서 지커서 지금 서서 밥 정말 구조단에게 말람 투 누바 열었는데서 디디.
단데도 된내려 봤어. 다 사리리기 지 연대야 사주야 발진줄이잖아 사주 어두잖아 사탕배인데 산예배인데 어디게지야 또봐야 토르토르토르야 로인데 조미 장숨 생이지 용도 와서 모남 용수 줘봐 선전 용수 민바 산지기 신 용수 장야기 된대기 누가 고 사리리리가래 누가 숙체로 줘도 왔어 다 예배값들이야 마다 사든기 집어간가 마타인데 그 뒤쳐지기 누가 숙체를 줘래스 진짜 어떤 데라 그러고 이나야 사제반에 아니 뭐는 무슨 누가 용수 줘봐 차상상으로 했으나 다 동이야 단다 다바사숭이 연대 되게 신기길 하여 왔어.
So as you move from the ground, like the 10 grounds, right? So the first, second, third. So when you achieve the 8th ground, and so that at that time that you achieve some kind of course you have molam zohru.
모남 용수 줘봐.
No.
산지기 신 용수 장와. semjen yonsu mimbas jo min jangsums ta ko sariri jo min jangsum ne ba tor jogare ta sajeben ne ba tala mada sadingi tuma jangsa jore.
And so at that time you have completed the prayers and you have ripened the sentient beings and have achieved also all the qualities of the Buddha. And so at that time you have purified the 7 impure grounds, so like they call below that, below the 8th ground, it's called 7 impure grounds. So you have purified the mother sadhun jamas.
Mother sadhun timajang.
So the defilements of the 7 impure ground is purified.
모는 단다 좋아 말스 단다 사 개버고버기 따티네야 반제트마 디기디 시두 타시타 디기디 단다야 라디 여버체니 다바사숭기 뭐가기 차시디기도 라디 여러버스.
And so the 3 pure grounds, so there are also other delusions or obscurations that is to be abandoned on those paths. Those are still not abandoned. So you still have those the obscurations to be abandoned.
사투주연데 퍼진알이야 아니 마숭거나 시잖아 만저 다 누율 대바로지 이 마차야르부터는 뭐 열었어.
And so yeah, of course there are so many powers and the qualities in there. So when we talk about the qualities and the powers they have on those grounds, it's like it's beyond our imagination.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for these great teachings. Really, really appreciate it. I was just thinking, just to add imprints for our minds and blessing, would we request a transmission of this prayer?
그래서 다 melom디 가서 토다마 melom기 롱지 나로나 시슈에 그래서 다 지금 박자샤셔도 melom 맞아. 지납다 박자하셔도.
오다디 산이 차그레스. 사디 롱데 두어레스.
So tomorrow it will be all, it will be completed. At that time you will have received the transmission.
단다다 통담하기 또 말이야 튀기요 말스 통담하기 룽규요 알스 단다 룽규지 토네 마더 튀디 제시체는 누구 알스.
So Rinpoche has the lineage of the transmission, passed down from to down to him, but he doesn't have the lineage of the commentary of this text, but he has the transmission of this text, so he's teaching based on that transmission of the transmission, the lineage of the transmission.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yes.
Earlier you were talking about dedication of merit, and you said that certain prayers don't create virtuous substances to dedicate, and so is this one of those prayers that, and did I understand that correctly? You were saying that sometimes just like if a prayer contained, for instance, the 7 limbs, there would be virtue to dedicate, but some prayers you wouldn't dedicate after.
먼저 멜럼 카셔 된 거죠. 뭐 제가 말했을 같은데 뭐 제가 겨 직제 뭐제 말했어. 베나다 상존하는 거죠. 야라도 바게디 겨 냠라 제가 뭐제 뭐에게 야가서 겨요라스. 되지다 뭐 가서 뭐에게 겨 사기 매버스 거 단단단 거죠. 던던하게 멜럼디
다디 베티
뭐제 겨 매버스라.
단디 베티 티레스 가바주 규치 인지게는 플렉시비 딱 가르스나 소소야스텔이야 신내주 고미연하래 한도주 고미연하래 어떤이지 슈딩노 통담아디 진den샤게나 어떻게 기어티 뭐 딱딱된 루어스
당어 차도라
뭐 차도스.
So yeah, this prayer is which is like is flexible, so you can pray anytime. So like say you're doing some practice, meditating on calm abiding or spiritual insight, and then at the end of that practice you just recite that, and then this will make that dedication.
야만을 남중지고 안 티슈도 통남아진 데가이나 딘델람은 공백 개와티 딜리엄 모션 가서 모는 디슈도 모는 디야인데 디모아차가르스 안 카케 팅엘이야 개와 믹센 디 사진 주주와 매비지 돌 디치고 데마이나 모는 장바르스.
So same with the other practice, like if you're doing a lumbering practice, and then at the end of the practice, you recite this, and then it will become a dedication, so that it will become dedication. But if you didn't do any practice, before saying these prayers, then it will be only prayer. It will not become dedication.
Shenda Parshan Mani Chingoji Saje and Dishudin Dindabainaya Moachagrovas.
So let alone other practices, even like reciting a mantra of Om Mani Padme Hum, one mala of one Om Mani Padme, and after that so through the power of this practice, of reciting one mala of Om Mani Padme Hum, I'm going to recite this prayer, and then that prayer becomes dedication.
Tapena manzo dojidengi tombe kundu soro tindejiliya levataga anta monam chigyagodu san en tonamajin dembein dati monam chadruwas.
And so, for example, like if you happen to be, in front of the Buddha Shakyamuni's statue in Bodh Gaya, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to do prayers, and then if you recite this prayer, then it will only become prayer.
Yeah. That to just singamendo, desha, nos. Daya, the chusa yore yamare.
Better.
Turn to page 39 for Thanksgiving mandala offering.
So we do the short mandala offering first?
Yeah. Oh, two collections vast as space. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous, virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Gong ri ra wei kor wei jing kong dir pen dong de wa ma lu yu mei ne chen ve zi quan ten zi yat so yi sha be si te ba du ten yu ji tong yi On page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi Mind, may it burn on arise, and when your love ever thine, on increase forevermore. Announcements? Okay. Mig med say waiter, chen red, remake and long go jam tel yang, dang chen pe su yen song pa no sandra pe jabla sol wa deb mig me se we chen